And welcome back to another week of the Green White Checker podcast. I am Picks by Fitz, or Andrew. I'm here with Austin, Zach, Joe, and our special guest, Brian Hicks.
Repeat guest.
What up, guys? Repeat guest.
What's up?
Yeah.
I think we could call him
We're going to talk about
part-time
Martinsville?
host at this
Okay.
point. Sorry, yeah.
I
Not even
think so.
regular guest, just part-time host.
Yep.
That works.
He was live on the scene in Martinsville this weekend, so we brought him in.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about Martinsville. We have the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, both cut races. So we get to talk about the playoffs and all three series if we want, at least the two that matter now. And we got a little bit of news, some surprise news that was broke after the race and interviews. So let's get into it. Let's start with the Xfinity race. Zach,
Yes.
what do you think?
I thought it was
Man.
pretty good. Standard Xfinity race, except for all the crashing. That was, I like seeing guys. We like seeing the beating and bang and everything that goes on in Martinsville, but there were a couple instances where I was like, that's a little much. Especially you have a good race going on up front, and then some guys back there wrecking for 36th place, and it's just some car number you never hear about or whatever. That's kind of
35
frustrating.
and 53.
Yeah, I feel like they were in everything there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty good. The ending was pretty wild. Sort of what you expect from the Martinsville cut race, I think. Got two guys going for a race, and you got to race your way in or win your way in, I guess you'd say, and both going for it, and neither one of them got it. Funny enough, was Allgaier need to win? I can't remember. Was he? So you had three guys up there in a must-win situation.
It wasn't a
Hill-
need to win, but if one of the top two won, he was out.
I don't think Hill
okay.
was must-win either. Hill just needed good points because the scenario was if he would have finished second or third and Creed would have won, he still would have been in.
At that point, no, he was must-win because Custer got far enough up.
Yep.
Yeah. Andrew and I were arguing about this. And then once I realized Andrew was right, I just kept going with it, like, because you don't admit you're wrong. Who does that? So I just kept trolling for a while. But
I
Custer.
was flipping tables over here. I was like, God damn
I knew
it,
you were
Zach."
so bad. I was like, I know he's
upstairs
fuming
on my
right now.
phone, and I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, I got up, I walked down to the basement. I was getting on the computer. I'm like, I'm gonna prove all my facts right now. And he's like, I'm just kidding with you. I was like,
You shut up, Nick.
Ugh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because it's really funny.
Custer
He's
was
like,
in
Custer got up to
sixth.
6th. I was like, oh, where do you finish? 19th. I was like, oh, well, 19th isn't 6th, is it? So he could have. He didn't have to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in a must-win situation there, so they both had to go for it. So, it's what it is. I get that they're both mad. Everybody's mad because they didn't make the final round, but I mean, that's the situation we want to put these guys in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch the race, what happened was basically you had Austin Hill leading and Sheldon Creed was in second. They're battling for the win. Creed is a must win to be in, and they tangled on the last lap. They didn't wreck. I think Creed ran them perfectly, in my opinion, but Justin Allgaier comes in and steals the win at the line.
I guess
And then Hill and Creed were both out.
I guess kind of your on that note, I think I know everyone's answer. You just said your answer, Andrew. What's everyone's thoughts on Creed's move there at the end?
Really cool.
I mean, if I'm an owner, I want them to race as hard as they need to, but somebody has to win. Yeah. I don't know if I wouldn't put anything on Creed. I don't know if I'd put it on Hill. Like, they're both going for it. If I'm an owner, I know RC was pissed off at Creed a lot, but if I'm an owner, I'm mad at both of them because I want a car in. So you guys can race each other hard, just don't cost us as a team a spot, which they did. Creed, I don't think he did anything, egregious. I don't think he brake checked like Austin Hill was saying. I think he just went to the corner and started going up through the middle and had to hit the brake to rotate, but I wouldn't call it a brake check. It was he had to rotate the car. So
yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Creed did absolutely nothing wrong. He was racing Austin as hard as Austin was racing him. I believe Austin probably made the first contact off of 2 on the restart. And Creed did exactly what he had to do on the final lap going into what was it, turn 3? is where they both tangled.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
And I mean, did he drive into the corner a little harder? Yeah. I mean, but they had to. He had to get Austin Hill kind of out of the groove, running high into the corner, and that way Austin couldn't get the run off the off the high side to beat him to the line, because it would have been a drag race if he would have just hugged the bottom. Unfortunately, he went a little too high or carried a little too much speed into 3 and had to check up a little more than normal in the center of the corner, and that let Allgaier get to him, and then chaos ensued. But I don't think Creed did anything wrong. I don't think either one of them did anything wrong. It was just all the emotions that happened afterwards was basically because, I mean, you have two guys both trying to get in the championship on the same team. One just announces that he's leaving. So, of course, Austin probably thinks that it was done on purpose, just out of spite and to sabotage the team. But Creed had no reason to do that. Even if he felt like he's being treated unfair at RCR, you still have an opportunity to go for your first Xfinity championship. Why would you cost yourself that? Yeah. So no, I don't think he did that.
Win also.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense for him to do anything like that on purpose. I think they were both racing really hard, and it just didn't turn out how either one of them wanted it to.
I think I'm fine with I'm totally fine with Hill being mad in that scenario, right? Like, okay, or frustrated at least. Like, mad he got moved out of the way in the heat of the post race. I think the stuff that made me mad was Richard Childress's reaction to it, calling Creed the stupidest driver that's ever driven for him when he has Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon under his roster. I think that's completely uncalled for. I think that Hill's crew chief coming up to Creed after and getting in his face and yelling at him after was uncalled for. I think it's just like, you got to understand. I mean, again, Hill's going to be frustrated in that scenario, but you still got to understand if you're in that exact same scenario, you're doing the exact same thing. Creed did it perfectly, in my opinion. He didn't like put him into the wall. Like Creed says, like, I didn't Ty Gibbs him, like I could have won the race that way and just absolutely dumped him. And then I would have secured myself a win if that's really what I was trying to do. But I was trying to race him as cleanly as I could while still racing hard and going for the win. Obviously, Hill's not going to just like let it happen. It's short track racing in Martinsville. That's what you do. You move the car out of the way. You force your way in there. You do what you got to do to get past that guy. You're not going to be like, oh, let me just work my way around and get alongside him in this one lap that's left. Like, oh, I didn't get it. Oh, darn. It's like, no, if the opportunity's there to move the guy, you're going to move him. And he did it in a good way. So, again, fine with Hill being frustrated. Still think he said some comments that were not called for. But, like, Richard's reaction, stupid. Brian, you said he got
driver ever.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Brian was a VIP attendee of Martinsville this weekend. Brian, you got a pretty up close and personal reaction to Richard's frustrations after the race. Yeah.
So yeah, at Martinsville, if you're not familiar with how the infield works, you have the front stretch and then pit road, obviously, and then the haulers take up the entire middle part of the infield, if you want to call it that. And then the garage is basically just a lean-to butted up against the backstretch. So there's a road between the haulers and the lean-to that makes the garage. So I'm standing back there watching them come off of turn 2, and I had a really good view of the big screen right in the middle of the track, so we were able to watch what was happening. And we just so happened to be standing by the number 3 hauler, because all the Xfinity haulers have to park outside of the racetrack. Only the Cup haulers are in the infield. And Richard Childress watches the race from atop the 3 hauler. So we're standing there by the 3 hauler on the final restart, and we're watching. And I was with Jordan Worth, and I said, man, this is about to be a really intense restart. I was like, especially since, Creed's leaving next year. If something happens, like, there's gonna be just madness. So I'm standing there, we're watching the restart, and they start banging doors, and I'm like just as giddy as possible because like I'm watching Richard, he is spinning in circles watching these two beat the doors off of each other, and they both wreck, and he takes his headset off, slams it on top of the hauler, and then starts coming off. And he gets down to the bottom of the ladder, and some jackass walks up and asks him for an autograph right after both of his drivers take each other out. And he had some not so kind words for that fan. And
That's phenomenal.
that fan just threw his hands up in there like, what did I do? And I'm like,
What did he
man,
say?
you
He's
just-
like,
Read the room, bud.
what did you say? He said
He-
he was like,
he said, do I look like I have fucking time for this?
Oh no.
And then just walked off.
God,
But he was hot. He was very
Peace.
hot.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah, I just like, you can be frustrated in that moment, but be frustrated at both. Like, well, like Zach's saying, like, don't be frustrated at Creed and not Hill. Like, I don't know. I just think, just stupid.
Hill's his golden child
Yeah.
right now, so I mean he can't. be
Yeah,
mad
well, I
at
mean,
him.
RCR
Right.
has a terrible history of how they feel about drivers who go away. I mean,
yeah,
look at Tyler
Tyler
Reddick
Reddick.
last year.
yeah.
You know, so it's sort of their reputation. So it's whatever. So they're probably all butthurt about Creed going away. But yeah, I don't know. Just don't ever change RC. I love it. He's, as much of an asshole as he sounded from saying all that stuff, like, you still gotta love an owner who's like just that in it and just that
Yeah,
that like
he's involved.
emotional,
He's,
right?
He's
like,
at the racetrack. He's, emotional in the scenario. He's not just like sitting as
Right.
like, oh, well, we didn't make it. All right, on to my next $1 trillion venture. That's
right.
next in line.
Like if that was the Hendrick team, I know for a fact Rick Hendrick would have been on the radio saying, "Listen, guys, we know what we're racing for here. Let's make sure we're thinking of the company, not Mister Hold My Watch." He just fucking gets hot. I love it. You sound like an idiot in this situation, but
Yeah.
it's still fun to watch and
I mean,
entertaining.
And to boot, you had Austin Hill, allegedly leaking where Creed's going to next year in his post-race interview. So
oh yeah,
that was a
Mhm.
nice
Yep.
little cherry on top of all that. So
Yeah,
Creed to Joe Gibbs, apparently.
yeah. Apparently so.
we'll take it.
That's one way to break news, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right? Is that all the Gibbs rides spoken for now?
I guess it would be right because who's going over there?
It'd be the
Chandler
he's in the
Smith.
19. Chandler Smith's in the 20, right?
I
Because
don't
Jesse
know,
Love left.
I think they
Yeah.
got. I think they have two.
All-Star car?
They have two full-time seats in an all-star car. I think is what they usually do.
Okay.
If I remember right. Maybe I'm
Right.
completely wrong.
That sounds
But-
right.
Who'd they have this
Yeah.
year? Sammy Smith and John Hunter Nemechek, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
then the
so-
19.
And that was sort of
So,
like
yeah.
a mixed bag. So two full-times and an all-star.
I mean, it's
So
not
yeah,
a-
that'd be Chandler Smith and Creed.
I feel like normally we talk about the Toyota pipeline or the Joe Gibbs pipeline almost being kind of a dead end. Like you kind of get stuck where you are a little bit. I feel like right now is a great time
It's
to
fantastic.
join that roster because you got Denny, who's probably getting somewhat close to either retiring or going or just going to full ownership or just driving for his own team, which I think we talked about. That probably isn't going to happen, or we have mixed theories on whether he's going to drive for his own team or not. You have Martin, who's obviously doesn't have much left either. He's hinted at last race that he was done with this, so maybe he's not got a lot left. You got two spots opening up, so if you're in that Xfinity ride right now, you've got a good shot of moving up to a top tier Cup ride here in the next handful of years.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I
now
was
you
like,
got Legacy also.
Yeah,
well, that's why I was really confused about Sammy Smith going to JRM. Like, I just, you talk about the dead ends. Like, where are you going to go from JRM? Where I think
Yeah.
Toyota is kind of the place to be right now if you're an up and coming driver. Just what you said, you got all them seats getting ready to open up. So, I don't know. I mean, I hope it works out for Sammy Smith. Seems like a good guy. He's fast and all that stuff, but I just don't know where you're gonna go.
Yeah, a lot of young guns in those higher up seats. So not a
Right,
lot
they're
of
locked in
moves.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Hendrick. When's Hendrick gonna switch his lineup up? I mean, the only one that might go is Bowman.
Right. Well, Toyota's place to be right now, but then in 5 years, it's going to be the exact same.
It's gonna be
You're gonna
locked down.
You're going to have Bell, Ty, then say Sammy and Creed, a bunch of young guns. They're not going to be going anywhere soon. So maybe they're playing the long game, going to Chevy or Ford rides and waiting on some seats to open up there. I mean, Ford's got a couple open up too. I mean, you got
Well, they did.
Well, yeah, they did. Yeah. I guess now.
Yeah, so that's news. Also, Eric Almirola is not going to be in the 10 next year.
Yep.
No.
Oh no.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think I told someone this weekend. Oh, he's a Martin Truex fan. I said, the one thing that's rare than meeting a Martin Truex fan is being an Eric Almirola fan, and I don't think I've ever met one of those. So I'm not. I don't think anyone's really sad he's leaving.
No,
Sorry to all our listeners who are Eric Almirola fans, but
all two of them.
Not that the guy's like an asshole or anything like that. It's just he's pretty just mid and forgettable.
Mid.
Like
Yeah.
he just exists. He's there.
mid driving, mid personality. Like, I'm sure he's a great guy or whatever, but
I'm sure.
like he's never in any headlines,
No.
for anything driving or outbursts or fights or comments on interviews or anything. Just very,
He's just kind of there
yeah,
doing his thing.
he exists.
Yep.
Cool.
But who doesn't exist anymore is Smithfield because they're going bye-byes.
See ya.
No
Yep.
more bacon. Sad.
So that's beer and bacon officially leaving SHR.
Yeah.
same
A
year.
lot of
I
money
think
to
that
lose.
further proves that theory that Stuart Haas might want to be no anymore. I mean, you lost two big sponsors.
What manufacturer is his drag race
Dodge.
stuff?
Dodge.
Okay.
That'd be fun to get
I was
them.
gonna
Dodge
say
coming back
maybe
to-
they
Last I
switched to
heard.
Chevy, but
Last I heard, it was Dodge.
Let me see.
It is Dodge.
Still,
okay.
Who's their F1 engine supplier? Ferrari. Is it Ferrari? I don't even know.
that's a great question, actually.
Honda. I don't know.
think they're
But to
Honda.
wrap up Xfinity, the Final Four: Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, John Hunter, and Cole Custer. So
Wow, Cole Custer.
And
That's not a name I would have put in the Final Four this season.
he
Well,
was
maybe-
Mr. Consistent. He didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
good for him.
Who do you guys have at Phoenix? Who's winning it?
For Xfinity,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
championship.
Justin Allgaier just because I like him.
I think JH.
Oh, I agree with Justin. I would be okay with JH though.
I
as
want
well.
JH. I feel like Justin's gonna get it, but I would like JH.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going John Hunter.
Dale will cheat up that car a little bit for him.
Who do you got, Hicks?
I think Sam Mayer's gonna wrap it up.
Oh, God, that's the one I don't like. Anybody else? I hate Sam Mayer, and I don't know
You'd
why.
rather have Custer?
Just absolutely hate him. I would, 100%.
That's fair, I guess. I love how none of us.
I
did
mean, I
pick
got nothing
Custer.
against Custer. Like,
Oh,
he's in
yeah,
a shit
I'm
ride.
sorta
They
in-
blamed it on him, and look, it's still a shit ride.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I don't really have anything against Custer. Just I wondered that too. Like back then when he was even in the car, like I was still always trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because even when he was there, like Ford sucked, and Stuart Haas really sucked, and they still really suck. I mean, apart from Kevin Harvick stealing top 10 somehow, they're nowhere.
He's kind of a kooky guy.
Yep.
Custer is.
He does keep
Yeah.
a little goofy.
Apparently, his dad works. Where's his dad work? His dad works for one of those teams, and
Oh yeah, everybody's got a dad that works for a team somewhere.
Yeah, that's how you get it these days.
Yeah, I think his dad's with somewhere in Haas, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think that's
I
right.
think you're right.
Yeah,
Yep, and then you got Cindric's dad's like
He's like
president
team
of
president of
or something.
Penske, yeah,
Mhm.
something like that.
Must be nice.
It must be.
Had to fight his way up through all those, races and series just to get to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So hey, before we
Right,
get to
so-
Cup, who's in trucks? We didn't go over the trucks. Did we go over trucks
Oh,
last
yeah.
week?
I think we
A
did
little
talk
bit. We
about
just
him.
touched on it.
Briefly.
Did
Yeah.
we? I don't remember. Well, if we did, never mind.
Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, and Finger. Zach, who you got?
I want Ben Rhodes just because I want another hilarious post-race press conference.
I think we did talk about this.
Yeah, now that I say that, I remember it. But I think Hocevar is going to get it.
Hocevar? I'm pulling for
He's fast right now.
I think it's Hocevar too.
Brian, we know you're
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't. My heart's with Hocevar, but I don't think he's gonna take it. I
Really?
think it'll be.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll probably be Corey Heim.
You just keep picking the guys.
I want Ben Rhodes.
I mean, he's just fast. I mean, Hocevar, they had that car had, or that truck has speed, but I don't think
it's a big race for him.
Has the speed. It is. I just don't think it has the. He's had like a rough. He's had a rough week going into the final race, so I just don't. I don't see his head being in the right spot.
Martinsville was really rough for him in the spring, or not Martinsville. Yeah, Martinsville. But I don't know how he hasn't really performed on short tracks from what I've seen.
I mean, he got beat by Brian Hicks at the Trackhouse Motorplex, so he's probably in a pretty rough headspace.
He won at Richmond. What are you talking about? He hasn't performed at short tracks.
How many people did he wreck to get that?
I don't think he wrecked anybody.
No, he didn't.
Boom.
He beat Ty Majeski with the cheated up truck.
With the cheated truck, yeah.
That was just bad pit strategy by them, but
he still won.
I want Ben Rhodes. He's got his crew chief back. I think he's gonna pull it off, just out of nowhere. But all right, we ready to go to Cup?
Ready to go to Cup.
Let's go to Cup. So, what did you guys think of the Cup race? I am gonna start with Brian Hicks because he was there.
It was boring. It got restarts was good. The few that we had, I mean, once it got single file, it stayed single file until the tires wore out. And really, there wasn't the first two stages. There weren't the first two stages weren't long enough for the tires to build up enough heat and wear out to really showcase how slick it got. But even the final stage, it was very lackluster. Everything I hear, it was good on TV, but I can with 100% certainty tell you it was not a good in-person product. I'll go back. I don't care to go back. If I go back, it's gonna be because I get special treatment again. It's not gonna be because I willingly just go out and buy a ticket for that race.
What a wild thing to say, right? Go back to like 2020 or 2021 and tell somebody Martinsville, not a ticket you're gonna want to buy.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue, I know that people keep beating tires up as the problem. That might be a little bit of a problem. The biggest problem is being able to shift gears.
Yep.
If they can't fix that, it's gonna short track racing's done.
Drop gear, disappear. I heard they did say on DBC, well, Mr. Hicks was there, he's privileged, but they did say on DBC that I guess we were talking about that Phoenix test and weren't sure what they were gonna try. Something about a new transaxle that'll cut out shifting. I don't know how that works. I'm not an engineer, but something that might be able to address that.
I didn't hear that part, but I know.
I'm just making it up.
When I spit out stuff information.
I know
on the
that.
internet.
No, I know they were definitely talking about some stuff that they're trying at Phoenix. I think they're actually trying some stuff at Phoenix that wasn't tested. So because they're just trying to throw anything they can at it to make the product at short tracks better. So
I think I saw a Bob tweet that said about more aero changes, and unless you're ripping the whole underbody off of it, I don't know what you're really gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a trick diffuser or funky splitter. I don't think anything like that's gonna work. You have to clean the whole thing out.
They're talking about doing that in general or just for a short track package?
And just short track.
I mean, I guess just short track, right? Like we don't want to fuck with 1.5s, right? They seem fine.
I just
they're good.
Yeah, I just don't get why we're focused on aero changes on short tracks. Like,
don't
you're
want to add
not
horsepower.
I mean, we're not doing horsepower, we're not messing with the shifting, but like, or the tires, you know what I mean? Like the stuff people are saying, I feel like are really obviously the people, meaning the people who don't actually know deep into the technical side and just watching from the stands. But obviously we know best because we're the GWC podcast. But
Yes.
I think that
I've watched videos on the internet.
yes, I've played iRacing before. I don't know if you know this. I just don't get why we're focused on ripping out doing anything with the underbody or the aero at all on short tracks when they're not super aero dependent tracks. You know what I mean? Like,
So,
I don't know.
what I think it is they're trying to fix this car the cheapest way possible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can just take stuff off of the car instead of having to reinvent the transmission,
Right.
reinvent the wheel, that's what they're going to try to do first. So I think that's why they're trying to do as all the, all the little things that nobody's like, or everybody's bitching about, like, that's not going to work. This ain't going to work. Everybody's beating the tires up and the transmission up, but they're going to try to fix it outside of that first.
They don't want to jump to lung transplants when you can just take cough syrup. It's like, why?
That's what they're hoping for.
Right. Yeah. End of the day, you may still need that lung transplant. But
yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
yeah, they're gonna see if this cough syrup fixes it first, and then go to more drastic measures. But I get that. I mean, yeah.
I just think what they need to do just to end this whole aero debate and thinking this is the way to go down. Take everything off. Take off the rear spoiler. Take off the underbody. Take everything that adds aero to the car that you don't need. Take it off and see what you get. And then that'll tell you. Like, once you've removed everything that you can feasibly remove that generates downforce, and you still have a crappy product, then aero's not going to fix it.
Yeah.
They will do anything but try more horsepower.
Until the hybrid.
Waiting on the hybrid engines.
Speaking of hybrid,
I'm telling you.
But Denny, I think, didn't Denny have... He either tweeted recently or this year that all they got to do is take the taper spacer off. They can run them high.
I mean, there's a little more than that. I mean, that's
not
the theory,
that simple, but that's... Denny's a car owner.
Because, like, the engine tutor... Because, like, it has something to do with, like, the engine builders and how they, like, tune the engines or some shit like that. Like, when you start adding horsepower, like, you can create issues with reliability and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know all of it, but that's...
Well, then I guess also the Hendrick guy, Jeff Andrews, said it would take a year to get the new parts. So who knows if him and Denny are both right, but...
Well, I think you are kind of right. I was just saying what one of the concerns I heard was, but I think I remember somebody from Yates or something saying that they could do 750 pretty easily.
All right, clip it and ship it. Let's do it.
That was from them, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're just against it. They're dead set against adding horsepower. And then, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna, we keep talking about the tire. To Brian's other point, you don't want to do that because now Goodyear has to re-engineer a whole new tire. Everybody has to get a new set of wheels if you're gonna make like a narrower tire. That's gonna be insanely expensive. So yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of tires, the rain tire at short tracks is going away next year.
No,
really?
I mean, I don't see why they would keep it. They don't run it.
It's not. It doesn't make financial sense because regardless whether it's going to rain, Goodyear has to bring those tires to the track and unload them, have them ready. And it doesn't make any financial sense for that because they're not going to run those rain tires on a soaked track.
Yeah, they really only run when it's almost dry anyway.
They're going to wait until it's almost dry anyway.
Then they run 20 laps and switch to dries.
Right.
So I guess that makes sense.
They're done from what I've been told, they're done after this year with bringing rain tires to short tracks. They're going to the wiper blade's going to come off at short tracks as well.
Stupid mud flaps.
I'm
sure they're gone.
Probably.
I'm sure all that.
I do wish NASCAR would have taken a little more risk with that. Like, I feel like, I mean, we complain about how this car has too much grip. So, I mean, I think it would have been okay with the track being a little wet. But yeah, they just waited until it was about 15 minutes away from being dry anyways. Like, what's the point?
Brian, do you have
Yep.
do you have reliable sources for that you care to disclose, or is that all off the record?
It's off the record.
Okay, good to know.
Off the record.
We'll trust you.
I mean,
You heard it here
they're not
first,
going to
though,
use them.
folks.
So
You heard it here
You heard it
first.
here.
Now your
Breaking
source.
news.
Now everyone else's
Yeah,
source is the Green Wine Checkered podcast.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
are you here
Yeah,
first?
we'll not be back next
All
year.
Good to know.
All right, so I thought the race was boring myself. At least
I-
like
yeah.
the first stage, second stage wasn't that great either. You saw the pit stop strategy, kind of made it interesting, but not really. No, it was a snoozer to me. I know Zach
Yeah.
kind of liked it.
I liked it. I mean, I saw cars passing from, and again, maybe it's the broadcast doing a great job, but I mean, you saw Ryan Blaney, where he qualify at, like 6th or 7th or something like that, and he was able to get up there and take the lead, like an actual pass for the lead. Denny passed Martin Truex for the lead. It wasn't like a pit cycle or anything like that. Like they actually passed. So it's like, I don't know, maybe my expectations for Martinsville are so low right now
Probably it.
that I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, a pass! This is a phenomenal race. Because I mean, you go back to like the first time we ran this car at Martinsville, and I just remember it was like a train. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I saw people bumping and pushing and getting people out of the groove a little bit. Now, is it perfect? No, like it wasn't good enough to the point where I'm like, all right, NASCAR, you got it cracked. You don't need to do anything to the car anymore. But I mean, I didn't hate it. It could be better, but again, maybe the broadcast was just doing a really good job at highlighting stuff. Maybe, I think Gluck talked about this on the teardown, but like, the whole drama around the playoffs and being able to watch the points, seeing the thing between Denny and Byron and Blaney, maybe that adds another dynamic that subconsciously just seems more entertaining. I'm focused on that, not so much just strictly on the racing product. I don't know. But whatever combination it was, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. It was a straight up race. The fastest car won. Blaney was even able to start, 11th or 12th on that last run and work his way all the way up. I know them guys were on older tires, but I mean, still, before you couldn't pass no matter what.
Right.
So,
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the only one, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm also on the
Could be better.
I'm also on the it was a boring race train. It was definitely the best Martinsville next gen race we've had, but
I think it was the best short track next gen race.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I think kind of similar to Zach, my expectations are on the floor for short track races, especially Martinsville. But I feel like that's been the worst short track, at least in my opinion, with the next gen. But I mean, it was better than it has been, and the playoffs add to it. But and the shifting, I think we mentioned it a few minutes ago. The shifting just kills me on these short tracks, man. I hate that, and
They're in third gear.
yeah,
They don't even use fifth. It's just there.
Yeah,
Third and fourth gear.
That's
In
so
NIS, I
dumb.
didn't even use fourth. In NIS, I was in third.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they got these crazy fixes in the pipeline. So,
For all the 5 laps
We'll
I actually
see.
ran anyway.
but
So
yeah,
as Zach said, Ryan Blaney, fastest of the day. I mean, that car was,
It was a
without
rocket.
doubt, the fastest car. You had Hamlin up there, and Truex was up there for a little bit until he got his speeding penalty.
Dude, I cheered so loud when I saw that. Like, fuck yeah, dude. You don't deserve to be up here.
No.
Get out.
Get out. See ya.
Yeah.
No championship for you.
Yep. But Chevy, on the other hand,
woof.
they struggled. Kyle Larson managed a 6th place finish. The next Chevy was Byron in 13th. And that was how it was most of the day. I mean, there was times where there was no Chevy in the top 10.
Yeah.
So
Byron making it in.
swing and a miss.
Yep.
And they weren't the only Chevy having problems. The pace car died on track.
Yeah.
What ended up being the issue with that? Did it just die, or is...
They said rubber caught the electrical going to the fuel pump. And
nice.
Brian,
there's
you
pictures of it.
gotta look
but-
at the car, didn't you?
I did. The rubber that I guess from what I heard on might have been Denny's podcast, they ran a thicker tread on the tire. so it was laying down significantly more rubber than normal,
Mm-hmm.
and the pace car tires were picking it up.
Huh.
Well, it had built up so much rubber on the rear tires and it was just the tires looked like a complete mess. And I guess the rubber had reached up and grabbed some wire and ripped it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Ford cleanup truck took over for a little while.
I gotta say,
That was
Brian, I really
fun.
like your framing here too for your cam. It looks like you're a newscaster.
I know. I told him I love that he had a pen.
Yeah, your little clipboard and everything. Like you look very, very professional. You like you're on
I
NPR.
was like, he's ready to take notes. This guy's here. He's here to do it.
Well, and we forgot to mention, but after the Xfinity race, they had all that oil on the track too. They had to go to freaking Walmart and get tied.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that contributed to the Murderilla. Who knows? Because there was a bunch of oil on track. I don't know, but that was a funny thing I saw.
Yeah,
Love
it's been a while since we've seen something like that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, Final Four: Blaney, Bell, Larson, Byron.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even look at our playoff predictions.
I don't know. It's all jacked up.
I don't think any of us had Byron or Blaney.
No. I think the only person in the world that had Blaney is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah. I had Byron. Austin had Byron, and Zach had Dennis. And Andrew doesn't have your champion on here, but you had Byron and
It was Byron.
Larson. Okay. So
It
three
was
of us had
Byron.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So, any other Cup stuff? Who we got? Who's winning it? Are we still sticking with what we had?
I think Blaney's getting it. I'm thinking Blaney's getting it. He's so good at Phoenix, especially in this car. I think I saw somewhere his average finish is like 2.8 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he has like a second, and a fourth, and a fourth. So it's Blaney's a threat. After Blaney, probably Byron will be my order, and then Larson, and then Bell. Unfortunately,
that flip Larson and Bell is my order of who I'd like to see win it. Flip it the other way is probably right there with you on my actual prediction of who's going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want Bell to win. Obviously,
yeah, I'd love to see Byron win it too. I want him to get one. I just feel like Blaney really receives the crap end of the stick on Penske for a lot of stuff. So I'd love to see him kind of stick it to him a little bit and get him a good win. Like we see all the time, the 22 and the 2 helping each other, and the 12s left out to dry and all this stuff. So I'd love to see him just kind of be the only one in the Champ 4 from Penske and then take the win. So I'd love to see him get one.
And last year he blocked like hell for Joey, so he better be repaying the favor.
He probably should have won that race, to be honest.
Yeah.
Joey might not be on the track very long if Gibbs tries to get to him.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's see how mad he still is. Apparently they've been having a thing for a little while then too.
I would like to see Ty ship him. That would be fun.
It would be. I wouldn't complain about it. But yeah, be cool to see Blaney get one. I'd like to see a first time winner, first time championship. Like I don't want to see Larson repeat.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that. I'd be fine with seeing somebody new. I think Blaney and Bell might have a bit of an advantage just because they're the only guys in house that are going for a championship at their organizations, where there's a bit of a house divided with Larson and Byron. How much does that matter? I don't really know. But could be a bit of an advantage. We'll see.
Hicks, who you got?
I think while Byron has a really, really good shot at it because he's just been super consistent, I think Larson takes it.
Oh, what a surprise.
Well, the only reason I say that is I seen how that team worked this weekend. A little closer than you normally can. Cliff Daniels is locked in.
He's a robot.
He has that team locked in, and him. Well, I'll tell you who's a robot, and like it was very cool to watch him. I was walking around with Jordan, and Jordan was just kind of looking at everything else, and I watched Chad Canals for like an hour and a half. Chad Canals studies everything he looks at. He was Like if there was nothing going on, he was studying how the lights worked. He was studying how a bird flies. If he could lay his eyes on it, he was studying it. And
Mhm.
every car that came through inspection at the end of that race, or after that race, he stood there at the inspection line and watched every car coming through, especially Blaney's. He was like, he would bend down, looked up under the car, was paying close attention to the wheel wells. When Bell's car came through, he studied that some bitch like hell. When the 5 and the 24 came through, he watched them just for a minute, and then it was like he was a proud dad. He watched as his cars passed inspection, almost as if he was getting something through inspection because he knew he didn't get caught. Those two, the 24 and the 5 team, are going to be the teams to beat, but I think Larson's got it because of Cliff Daniels.
I like that analysis.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of going off of recency here, and as much as I want to see Byron do it, I just don't think they have the speed, and I think it's going to be down between Larson and Blaney. Blaney is just performing so well right now.
They are on a
It's
streak.
getting hot at the right time for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and Larson, I mean, kind of what Hicks just said. They're honed in on this. They're ready. They're going to be there.
Yeah.
It's you look at Phoenix earlier in the year, and it was Byron Larson, who were the fastest cars. So I think it's gonna be hard to beat Larson, but I hope he doesn't get. I would like to see somebody new, and I think the guy that deserves it the most is Blaney.
Yeah.
But-
And we have a true house divided between Blaney and Byron. So
Blaney, I'd say really not Byron.
Sure.
Byron had 6 wins.
Oh, believe me, no. I think Byron had the better season. Don't get me wrong, but I think Blaney, look at last year. Blaney dominated last year.
We're not talking about
He
last
was
year. We're talking about this year.
I know, but I just think he deserves it the most. I'd like to see him get it. I think Byron did have the best year this year, though. I just don't think he has. I don't think they're there.
So then Byron will deserve it next year.
yes.
I mean, depends who's there.
I don't know. I just worry about that 5 team because we're talking about Blaney being streaky, and kind of piggyback off of what Hicks was saying is the 5 team. I don't feel like they need to be streaky. Like they just can show up out of nowhere and have just stupid speed. But I would agree with what you're saying about how Byron kind of fell off, and Blaney is riding a hot streak right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm worried. I don't think Bell's gonna do well. Not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Pick real mess it up somehow.
No, well, he
So-
was talking, and he said about how this past Phoenix was his best Phoenix in the Gen 7 car. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. He's all confident. I go back and look, and he finished 6th. Like, oh, that's a good day. 6th. Well, problem is Larson finished 4th.
Yep.
Blaney finished 2nd, and Byron won the damn thing. Like, well, shit.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so before we move on from Martinsville, Hicks, how many hot dogs do you eat?
I took 9 down this
Ooh.
yeah.
Wow.
Good number. Good
Ooh.
number.
How do you get it? I don't know what all comes on a Martinsville dog.
I just got them all the way: chili, slaw, onions, and mustard.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say how many of those hot
Ooh.
dogs were at Martinsville.
Heartburn. We talked about that storage shed earlier.
Oh boy, a true hot box.
Those okay, Brian. I've heard that the infield dogs are better than the.
They are 100% better.
Really?
Yes. It just seems like they're. I don't know. Because I don't know if they're making them outside or making them inside and then
Oh,
taking them
true.
outside or what. Because it just does. It seems like when you get them, they're just not quite as hot. But I mean, you pop one of the ones open at from the infield and they're like burn your mouth kind of hot.
So you had them both this weekend,
Yeah.
like infield and outfield. Wasn't sure if you're just
I
thinking
got
back.
I got one on the outside, and I was like, I'm going back to the infield. So I went to the
Dang.
infield Sunday before the race started. Got a bag of 6 and took them outside.
Hell yeah,
Dang.
that's amazing. I need me a
God,
Martinsville
yeah.
dog, but I think me and Joe obviously share your sentiment of not wanting to go back unless we get such treatment because we were planning on going if we got media passes again, didn't get them, and then didn't go because we're like, got to drive all the way up there for Martinsville in this car. Okay,
Such a depressing thing to hear.
it really is. But anyway, congrats on the 9 dogs. I didn't get one back as payment for letting you stay with me, but I'll let that slide. Maybe next year.
You got Wendy's.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, so I'll Venmo you.
No.
And I got to borrow your fire suit, so I'll take that too. So
There you go.
won us the contest competition today at work. So thank you for that.
No problem.
All right, so let's move on to some news. We mentioned that Creed was going to JGR and that Love was leaving. He's going to RCR. He's going to drive the 2, so a little bit of switcheroo there. Let's see. I mean, we don't have much news to cover anymore. We've been popping it off.
Yeah.
New Ford body coming next year. We're getting the reveal tomorrow. Look like they're running around Daytona, I think.
Well, there's going to be we'll see how much of a reveal. It's supposed to be like a trailer,
Teaser.
maybe like a teaser trailer where they just show quick snaps of it or a full review. I don't know. But we'll get something tomorrow on it, according to Twitter.
I mean, it's just new stickers, basically, right?
It's gonna be new shape.
Yeah,
they're doing a redesign.
From the tweet pic I saw from, I guess, RFK or whoever it was, it looked like the body shape was very different.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think maybe they weren't improving. Like maybe they're not really just bothering with this body style and focusing on their new updates. So I mean, it could be like a watch out for Fords type situation next year.
True.
Be interesting. And then Bubba Wallace, Columbia Star Wars collab going on.
Sick.
Really cool. Yeah.
So I'm about to buy 2 of those diecasts. That's gonna be.
I know Blaney is jealous as fuck about that too.
Well,
with Mark Hamill in the commercial and like the little trailer for it too.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
I just imagine Blaney somewhere off camera fangirling.
As much as I would love a diecast, didn't Lionel already say that's a no?
No, they said they've made inquiries or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, because I can see Disney being.
They haven't confirmed that they can yet. Yeah. That's the issue.
Disney could be very stickler about that. Maybe Disney does a diecast on it, and I'll get it either way. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm mad that Tyler Reddick isn't driving a Star Wars car, also, but
that would be.
It
really
is
cool.
what it is.
For some reason, I forget those guys are teammates. I don't know why.
It's still a weird thing for me. They don't my brain hasn't comprehended that yet. That's gonna be sick, car. That helmet too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, the helmet. When he handed it to him, I was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!"
That is amazing, incredible.
Let's see. Do we have F1 this weekend?
Mexico.
1, yay.
No way.
It took them all of 0 corners to get.
When's that Vegas race?
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. I'll watch that. I'll be the second F1.
We heard back on our media passes for that. We got those, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're in the mail. They're in the mail.
They're in someone's mail, not yours.
Brian, did you check yours? We might have sent them to your place. I can't remember.
Well, I turned on the first lap. I was like, oh, I'm curious, like how, because Austin was saying, oh, it'll take 2 corners for Max, who started P4, to get the lead. Had it before they even got to the first corner, and Checo wrecked himself out.
It just
cracks. Then I turned it off.
Just cracks me up how they're talking about fans losing interest now in Formula One because they saw Drive Survive, thought it was actually interesting, and then watched the racing and realized, oh wait, this kind of sucks. My hope is that then people, because I got back into motorsport because of Formula One. I liked NASCAR growing up, got out of it, got into Formula One, got me back into motorsport, which got me back into NASCAR. So I'm kind of hoping we get a trickle of some fans who are still hungry for some good motorsport,
real
racing. Yeah, real
racing,
actual racing, and then be like, oh, okay, NASCAR kind of has that. So that's my hope, is that we get some trickle fans from that. But still, just hilarious to me how boring Formula One is right now.
Well, hopefully this documentary in January, gets us some fans and moves the sport in the right direction.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Did they announce when it's coming out? Is it supposed to be January?
It says early 2024, so it's going to be before the season starts.
Right, it's got to be before the season, right? Can't come out.
So I'm looking. It's got to be mid-January, is my guess.
My expectation is low for that. I think I mentioned this after Darlington, but after seeing the Netflix guys at Darlington asking someone how qualifying worked didn't make me super hopeful. I know it's the camera guys, not anyone else in the production, but you'd hope that the guys showing up at the track making the footage are knowledgeable on what's going on, but it sounds like they didn't really know much of anything. So I don't know. I hope it's really good, but I'm keeping my expectations low for it to hopefully be like Zach with Martinsville and actually enjoy it. So
yeah, I mean, I guess they're not so much telling you about a race, but more the story of the playoffs, right? So I guess they don't strictly have to have super.
no, it's not even about that. It's just like
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
if they're not knowing that, what else are they not?
What else do they not know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if you go back and watch the early seasons of Drive to Survive, it was very similar. So,
yeah.
like, it's trying to inform the fans of what. I mean, I don't know whether he was just asking because he genuinely didn't know, or whether he was asking for some kind of content for this documentary that they're making. But hopefully they're using shit like that to inform people who don't know anything about NASCAR.
Right.
Because like I said, in the early Drive to Survive documentaries, it was more informative than what it is now.
Like Will Buxton, whoever qualifies higher will then start the race further up. Whoever places in front of all the other cars this race will be the winner. We just need someone doing that the whole time.
The thing I'm looking forward most to in the documentary is to see how many times I made it in at Kansas, because I was trying to photobomb them every chance I got. And if I am not in it at all, their editor needs a raise.
Some guy
who's this
some guy
ugly
sitting in an
effer
editing
in the
room
background?
somewhere, just like, this asshole again.
You look, your face is just blurred out. Like everyone else's
number 10 again. God.
Everyone else's faces are visible, but yours is blurred out. Yeah, I'll be watching like a hawk for Darlington. We weren't intentionally photobombing. We were definitely around them a lot of times, so we had to have made it in some shots. Whether or not they'll make it, who knows? But definitely be watching.
All right, let's move on to kill count. Let's see. We got Harrison Burton, Christopher Bell, and Carson got one. So
Who'd Bell get? Oh yeah, Newman.
Yeah, Bell, he'd clean him out.
he deserved it.
He
Yeah.
did. Like, what the fuck are you doing in your Rick Ware racing car? Just 3 laps down, whatever you were.
Yeah, give up the
Hardest guy
bottom.
to pass in NASCAR. Just move.
Even in a Rick. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Having the hardest guy to pass in NASCAR in a Rick Ware car. Jeez.
Yeah, get out of here, Newman.
So going to the last race of the season, we got LaJoy with 18, Bell with 17, Brad K, and Joey with 16. So somebody is gonna become the winner, and we will find out next week. It's gonna be Joey. He's gonna just wreck all 3 of the other playoff guys. And
Yeah.
He might.
19 there.
He tried pull shotting Denny, so we'll see.
All right, Survivor. Zach, what do you got for us?
I deleted the file. We don't have it anymore.
It's gone.
All results are gone. Well, who won? Drake won because he had Blaney. And then Andrew with Hamlin, Joe with Bell, and then me with fucking Byron, finishing 13th. I just picked these guys in their worst weeks. I'm so good at it. So with that, score is just irrelevant for me. But we got Andrew's up 197 over Drake, and then Joe at 95, and I'm on the board somewhere.
So I need to win and Andrew to lose for us to tie.
Last.
For us to tie. So, and with me having no playoff guys left in my lineup, probably not going to go too well. So we'll see. Kind of a fight for second for me here. Sorry, Joe. Well, I'm playing defense.
Well, I guess Joe could steal third from you. So I guess you guys could at least shake up a little bit.
Zach, what do you need to win?
A new season. I did add a little points bonus to me, but I see that's been removed now. So,
Yeah.
You know what we should do?
Little 100-point bonus.
Whenever we, you know, what we should do. Whenever we have a guest, we should let them pick first, and then no one else can pick who they pick. Because I know we'll always give a celeb shot. That'd be a fun way to kind of mix it up. It's like, Brian, who do you pick? Says, like, you know, Larson. Well, shoot, now whoever can't pick Larson. So, that'd be
there
fun.
you go.
Well, we won't implement it this time, obviously. Maybe
Why
next
not?
season. It's just I don't want to, as much as I
Okay.
want to screw over Andrew, I if I win like that, it's not
I'll
really
pick
winning.
Harvick.
So, yeah.
There it is, Harvick.
Oh, god damn it.
Alright.
Oh yeah, we're not doing that.
We're not doing it. So who you got, Zach? Since you finished last.
Well, I got Harvick.
Oh,
Hey,
uh,
there it is.
I am going to take our last remaining Gillette Young Gun from the class of 2005.
In his final race.
In his final race at Phoenix, which is one of his better tracks, and I'm banking on the fact that him and Ronnie Childress are going to cheat the fuck out of that car and say, NASCAR, we dare you to DQ this. Because, I mean, if they go out and win this race, like, and NASCAR finds it's illegal, do they really want to DQ it? What's it matter if he wins the race? It doesn't make a difference
do
for
you think they're
anything.
gonna have? I don't know. Have they ever had? This is my ignorance. Ever had a non-championship Ford driver win the last race?
I think they
since
have.
this current format.
Yeah, I think it's happened, but it's really rare.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look, but
I
I'm
just
pretty
feel like
sure.
NASCAR may pull out the Tuscan Raiders if someone's leading that's not the Champ 4 and snipe out the tires.
Everybody's got like a kill switch. They got a kill switch button to all the non-playoff guys.
Yeah, NASCAR accidentally flipped the pace car one this week. So
I mean, I swear it's happened. I just think they get no coverage at all,
yeah,
like none.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's so easy to forget.
All right, Joe, who you got?
Willie B.
Willie
William
B.
Byron.
You got him for your
Big-
championship pick too, right?
I do. All in on him.
There you go. I like it.
Okay. I am gonna go Kyle Larson.
Okay.
I hate it, but yeah,
Makes you feel dirty.
it does.
Nah, that's a good pick.
Since he's gonna push Ryan to the win, I'm gonna go with Joey because then he'll finish second.
Not a bad call. They finished 1-2 last year, didn't they?
Think so.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They're gonna flip
Just to invert it.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Okay, final Survivor picks of the year.
Locked in.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it's crazy. Season's over, guys. Like,
It's nuts.
Don't remind me.
No.
yep,
Sad.
yep,
They will have
Okay.
football take us right into next season. So
True.
yep.
Shortest off season around.
love it.
Yes, sir.
Brian, closing
Uh,
thoughts.
Go
Oh, I guess
Hosen
we
Bar.
have. Wait, do we have OnlyFans?
I thought we had.
We
a
do have
couple.
one
Oh
OnlyFans.
yes. So not closing
Nice.
thoughts. Shut up, Brian.
Yep.
God, who has you
Yeah.
to talk?
So we got a question from Jen.
Jen.
What is the best and the worst Halloween candy?
Ooh.
So strictly Halloween candy.
I'm just gonna start off with Reese's peanut butter cups because that's the
Best or worst?
Solid.
Easy.
So I was gonna say there is
Huh?
about to be.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, okay. I don't
Candy
think it's the
corn
worst.
is the worst.
Candy corn is the worst. Yes, I hate candy corn.
Are we talking about just like worst candy or worst thing you get?
I think we're just in the strict context of Halloween, right? Because there's
Well, yeah,
Well,
but
you
you
go-
don't always necessarily
You
get
go trick or
candy.
treating. What's in your bag?
I mean, like
What
I think
is-
something that's disappointing is not a candy, but like pretzels.
Here's a
Yeah.
I
first.
fucking love pretzels.
I like pretzels. I
I
don't
do
want them in
too.
my
that's
my
true.
trick or
That's a
treat
good
thing.
point.
Yeah.
I have
Regular
I've,
pretzels, right? Not chocolate covered or anything like
No,
that.
no, no. They're just like a standard bag of pretzels.
I have two questions.
But I will agree, candy corn's fucking awful.
First question: would you rather have in your bag candy corn or an almond joy or a Mounds? Which would you
Almond
rather
Joy.
have? I'd rather have candy
Wow.
corn.
I
Because
feel
I'd
like-
at least eat
I
some
feel
of
like
the candy
Almond
corn.
Joy.
I would toss the almond joy immediately.
I feel like I'm about to get
Really?
Yes, or the Mounds, even
about
worse.
to get chastised here. I love an almond joy.
Yeah, I love them.
Weirdos, man. What on earth?
Like the Mound Bar, it can go, but no, candy corn's the worst. It's candy corn, Mound, almond joy.
No way.
Easy.
Okay, what about
Easy.
no chocolate candy corn's worse than the regular candy corn? They're like brown.
There's
one.
chocolate candy corn.
Mm.
What
That sounds awful.
It's the-
devil
that's the
worshiper
worst.
wanted
Wait,
that?
wait, wait. I got another one. Black licorice.
No.
Yeah, that's worse.
That's
that might
worse.
be the worst. Now that I
That's
think about
worse.
it.
Yeah.
I've never had black licorice.
Okay,
Don't.
Don't.
here's one for the
I guess the
best.
closest thing I've had to black licorice is Jaeger because people tell me it tastes like black licorice.
That's yeah. I've only had
I'd rather
Jaeger
have Jaeger.
and bombs. So
Um,
God, it's been years since
I-
I've had a Jaeger.
I think the best for me, they're called the Twizzler Twist. It's like the little like two by two.
Mhm.
They're like kind of like that. They're like that big.
Yeah.
I love them. It's
This-
not the best candy.
like
I know that looks weird.
this big.
Yeah, you
You get that
Jeez.
special pack.
God, the special pack. Oh my gosh.
Not to
It's
go
not
off
the-
into a
it's-
crazy topic, but you ever see that like chicken finger dip like parody commercial?
Yes. Yeah.
What do they call them? Finger blasters?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what it was.
2, 3, two's enough.
For now.
Yeah. Thomas says in the chat, Almond Joy, WTF, toss it into my mouth. Shut up, Thomas. Golly. Here-
All right, so what's that? That's
it's
3 to
not
1.
the-
Almond Joy's good.
It's the
Yeah.
the Twizzler. It's not the best candy overall, but for Halloween, I think it's pretty solid.
That's fair.
For some reason, it's like I love Skittles. I love M&Ms are fine, but like I love Skittles, but not in those little packs. It just feels different to me. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
fair. No, that's fair. I think
I like using Twizzlers as a straw. You ever do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course. Brian
Oh,
loves him
yep.
some Twizzlers. This is road trip snack. So Brian, this is my second question I have, and I'll let you open up because I already know your answer. Reese's Cups or Reese's Eggs or Trees / Trees. They're basically the same. So which one? Brian, we'll let Brian have the
Oh.
floor to start.
For what? You talking about like
Just
what's
candy.
better?
Like which you prefer? Yeah.
Oh, Reese cup because it's perfect. And
Yeah.
if you do anything, if the egg, the tree, the pumpkin, it throws the entire ratio off between chocolate and peanut butter. So fuck it. Cup.
Definitely cups.
Cups.
Cups in any situation, absolutely.
See, I like a little bit more of the peanut butter, so
Yep.
I'm going egg.
I like the egg.
I like the egg.
I like the egg and
Really?
trees, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are. I love the cups. Here's my one qualm. My one qualm with the trees and eggs. Sometimes it is too much at once. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I almost have to take my time with it. It's almost too filling. A cup, I feel like I can throw back, no problem. But you know, the egg sometimes like, okay, this is a lot. This feels like way more just in general than a regular cup. So I get that argument, but I think I still like the cups and the eggs and trees better. So
I do like a little more peanut butter to chocolate ratio than
Sure.
what the cup offers.
I got one more little would you rather here. Skittles or M&Ms?
Skittles.
Not a huge fan of either.
It depends.
It does
If it's
depend.
peanut-
It does
If it's
depend.
peanut
Hey, what if I
M&Ms,
put in Reese's Pieces in?
Oh no, Reese's Pieces.
No.
No. I do not like Reese's Pieces. I hate Reese's
it,
Pieces.
it depends.
If you
Is
give
it-
me M&M, the peanut butter or the peanut M&Ms,
Yes, peanut M&Ms or the purple bag Skittles.
Oh yeah. Those slap.
You ever had Sweet Tart ropes?
They were.
I don't
in
like-
They were in our bowl tonight, but I did not try them.
I'm not a huge
Right.
fan of like
They're good.
fruit candies. Like I don't know, like that artificial fruit flavoring and stuff like that. I just never loved it. Except for like sour heads, or no, not sour head, warheads.
Oh, warheads, love those.
Warheads are good.
Yeah. Really? You like them? I don't like them. Yeah.
Now
Right.
the Nerds clusters,
Those are the
Mm.
goat now, dude.
#1 candy. Here's a controversy. Here's a question.
Really?
Not related to Nerds clusters, but here's a question. This is it's just divisive. Milk duds, yes or no?
Yes.
Brian says yes.
Yep.
I've
Best
grown away
chocolate
from the
in
milk
game.
duds.
Occasionally,
Yeah, it's not-
it's not my go-to, but I do have occasion where I'm like, milk dud,
It's
Alright.
nice, but a nice tasteful milk dud. I do remember eating,
but not
them
too
when I
many. Only a couple.
Yeah, I remember having them when I had braces all the time
Oh,
ago.
gosh.
I'm like, oh, regretted that one.
Yeah, can imagine. I love me some milk duds, man. People don't agree with me of that at work to the point where someone walked across the aisle and said, "Austin, I got you something." Hand me a box of milk duds. Like no one else is gonna want these, so here you go. I'm like, y'all are just wrong. Like these are great candy. They're like, you have to chew so much. I'm like, okay, so you have to do bubble gum too. You still chew bubble gum. Like, come on, like it's just better, and you can swallow it. So you know,
Yeah.
But I love
Clip
me
it.
some Milk Duds. All right, that's enough.
Huh?
Can't say anything on this dang podcast. Tom's vote for Skittles M&Ms was M&Ms. Tom, I'm curious your opinion on Milk Duds now, so throw that in
I
the
guess if you're
chat.
talking standard Skittles and standard M&Ms, I'm probably gonna go M&Ms.
M&M's.
Brian,
yeah.
what was your favorite and least favorite?
Favorite is probably either the little boxes of Milk Duds or Snicker.
Oh, Snickers good.
Mm,
Classic.
Least favorite is Whoppers.
yes, I was literally thinking that because that's what's in our
All right,
bucket
hold
right
on.
now. Is
Oh,
Oh,
Whoppers.
the Whoppers are little crunchy ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, malt balls.
Hold on
Yeah.
a second.
Covered in malt balls.
Opinions might be changing because I might have been confused when I was thinking of stuff.
Tom said he
Alright,
could
there's-
go either way on Milk Duds, not his go-to though. But that was my thought too, Brian. Is like if I'm going if I'm trick or treating, no one's throwing candy corn in my bag, which I also do enjoy. A total of 5 pieces of candy corn before I'm sick of it, and then I don't touch it for a week, and then I'll maybe have 1 or 2 more. But I do not just a handful of those. But if I'm actually going out trick or treating and someone puts like Mounds Almond Joys or Whoppers in my bag, those are like I'm egging your house actually if you put any of those in my bag. So
Correction on my opinion, I do like Milk Duds. I was thinking for some reason I was thinking Whoppers when we were talking Milk Duds. I
Whoppers
don't
are
know why,
good.
but yeah, I do not care too much for Whoppers. I'll have a couple, but not too many. Milk
It's just-
Duds, yes, I do like.
good. There's just so many better options out there than not Milk Duds, Whoppers. That I'm not gonna waste my time eating Whoppers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my sweet treat of the day on a Whopper. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good question
cool.
though. Good Halloween themed question.
Yep.
Happy Halloween,
Yep.
everyone. I know
We went trick or treating this evening. It was fun.
Oh, we had
Nice. Very nice.
we had a few trick or treaters at our house.
Had little Anna and Elsa, same thing as
Went to
last year.
went to a friend's house, and they had they like shut down their whole street and have food trucks and everything. So there were hundreds
Oh,
of
that sounds
kids.
Rich
weird.
neighborhood. Nice.
Yep. And
Yeah.
no, it was actually the one like right across from across from it was like off Archdale. So
Oh,
I
like
think
I
like
know
that's
what you
probably
mean.
why you only had a couple kids. Was how I went to their street.
That's what we do growing up. There's like 6th Street or 6th Avenue or something was where we'd always go. It was like rich neighborhood, and people would hand out like full size candy bars, and it was like
Yeah.
like just shoulder to shoulder people on the streets, pretty much like just filled with kids getting candy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you got to be careful of, though. Something
Yeah.
people don't think about when you're doing trick or treating. If you're doing trick or treating like in your neighborhood, you got to watch what kind of shit you talk about your neighbors. Just because
Yeah.
everybody's got like Ring doorbells now
True.
Yeah.
and
that's-
recordings, just a little.
watching
Did you learn
everything.
that the hard way, Zach, or did you get some
No, it was
good
something-
dirt on your neighbors?
It was something me and the wife were talking about. It's just like, oh shit, yeah, we
Good
gotta.
point.
It was like when we were looking when me and Lindsay were looking for houses. Our realtor was like, "Well, like, don't say anything bad about the house while we're in here because they're probably gonna have a Ring doorbell, and maybe a security
Yeah.
system with a camera. So only say positive things in here. We'll talk crap on the house when we walk. Whenever we walk far enough away from the house where they can't hear us. But it's wild, man. You can't talk
Yeah.
crap on anybody anymore. What's the-
Crazy.
You gotta
Never
be
thought about
careful.
Gotta be careful. Unbelievable.
Mhm.
Well,
All right, so let's wrap this bad boy up and get ready for Phoenix.
yeah.
What do you guys think?
Whoa,
Excited?
Phoenix. Can't
We're
wait.
not excited.
Championship.
Excited for a
I think it'll
championship,
be a good
not
weekend.
excited for
Yeah.
racing.
Yeah.
I do like championship weekend, even being at Phoenix. Can't really
Be
spoil
better at
that. Just
Homestead.
it would be. I do enjoy championship weekend though. So
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yes. Closing thoughts. Anybody got any?
Brian?
I mean, just ready for the season. Be over with. To be honest with you,
are you?
it's such a long season. I
It
wish
is.
the season wasn't as long as it is.
What's your race count? Perfect season length.
probably 26.
Dang, cutting 10 off.
Yeah, I'd cut 10 off. I mean, you could probably get there's several tracks that you go to twice that you don't need to.
Yeah.
Don't need to go to Chicago. Don't need to go to Martinsville twice right now. Don't need to go to Richmond twice. I I mean, it's just I'm okay with the off season.
Yeah, I'll be honest too. Like around this time of year, at least this year, I'm like, all right, getting a little fatigue on it. I'm like, all right, I am kind of ready for a break. I mean, I didn't watch much of the race this past weekend because I was prioritizing going to a Panthers tailgate above it. I was like, I'm not gonna rush home from this to watch the race. I pulled it up on my phone and watched some of it there, but it's the kind of time of year especially if it was Daytona or like, a 1.5 or an actual good track, like with the current car, then I probably would have, it might be different, but I was like, I'm not going to rush back to watch Martinsville, but I definitely, I do feel that sentiment a little bit there, Brian.
Okay. So that is it for the Green White Checker podcast. You can catch us on all major platforms. The GWC pod, pretty much everything, I think. So Spotify, Apple, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Forgetting one. Twitter, X, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look for us there. We post quite often. So that is it for us.
Thanks, Brian, for visiting.
Yeah,
No problem. Thank
Brian,
you for having me.
again.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You want to be on next week?
If I watch the race,
you on
I'll
Fair. All right, fellas. See
Bye.
y'all.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.